This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pitstop, where you, the pit crew, are the real star of today's show, because we are here to talk about sim racing news. And happy Monday to everybody, coming off of a really busy weekend with so many things going on. It was such a busy weekend, I didn't even get to watch the Super Bowl. So I was racing instead of watching the Super Bowl. But an incredible weekend for many people, and here we are Monday to talk about the sim racing news. And before we get down to that, and I got a lot of news today, so today is going to be one of those bam, 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 bam kind of shows. If you want to if you want to talk about anything in detail, you're going to have to jump in and let me know. Bryce saying something about audio. Is there an audio problem? I see audio on my end. Hopefully that is just on you. If that's a big problem, you guys let me know. But a couple of things I want to talk about this weekend. I think it's just you, Bryce. I'm seeing audio on my end. It wouldn't surprise me, though. I've been having some streaming difficulties. Woof, Max. Woof to you, buddy. Sleeping away until the gardeners get here Monday morning. So this weekend, we had a big meeting with the patron group, and I just want to thank you guys all for showing up to that meeting. We had a really productive meeting talking about the patron program and the perks that go along with it. And you guys helped me define some of the perks, create some new perks, clarify some of the other perks, and make sure that all the perks are up and running. So it was a really fun meeting, and I just want to thank you guys all for coming out. That was one of the highlights of the weekend for me. Beyond that, I just want to talk about the Pacific Majors 2.4-hour race yesterday I did. My stream was a mess. The race was fine. Everything was great on my end. It's just what was going out to YouTube. It might have been an internet related. I saw a lot of comments. I can tell you it wasn't the computer. Computer is running great on my end, so I don't see how it would run great on my end and not on the stream. To me, it seems like that might be a data transmission issue. Anyway, but that went on yesterday, and that was a great race. Finished in 10th in class, which was not a bad run at all. And I want to thank Statman, Stat King, Steam King here in the chat for being my spotter once again, and that really took me through the 2.4 hours that would have been monotonous had I not had him watching out for me and making sure that it all went well. And while I'm getting thank yous, and I'm just going to get them all out of the way, I want to thank the man, Todd, Howard, Tom, all for sending in stories. I want to thank John Hill. He doesn't get thanked often enough on the show for all the work he does behind the scenes, helping me out, giving me advice, suggestions, and doing a great many things behind the scenes. And Fabio Martin is another person, Mitchie Hoyer. So I'm done with my thank yous. I could go on and on. I could thank all of you individually because I'm leaving names out right now. And I just want to make sure I do thank you guys for all the work. It's not just me. Even though you see me on the show every day, so many people behind the scenes really helping out a lot. So what is going on in sim racing? A lot going on in sim racing. I'm going to go through the quickies that don't matter much. Forza. They gave away the Hyundai cars. Now they're giving you a Hyundai driving suit. So if you want to get out there, make sure you don't forget that freebie as well. Moving along. R Factor has another photo competition. All the links are at thesimpit.com as usual. So if I blow through one of these stories and you're like, wait, what did he talk about? Go to thesimpit.com. Look for the link to today's show, and did I get it up there properly? I'm going to double check myself real quick as we're streaming. Oh, come on. Yep, there it is. Just want to make sure it is there so you guys can get all the stories. So R Factor 2, another photo competition. Get out there and paint it up, show them what's up. Onrush, I clowned them the other day. This is from Codemasters because they had updated their FAQ, and it was a big announcement. Oh, our new FAQ FAQ page is up, and we went and looked at it. There was like no information. There's a little bit more information, and I'm not going to go through it because this is a game we're only moderately eager for. But they do talk about wheel support. Onrush will not have wheel support at launch. However, it's something we may look into post-launch based on your feedback. So, anyway, it sounds to me like we're not expecting a lot of sim racers, so if we get a bunch of people complaining about wheel support, then maybe we'll do it. I don't think they're going to have a overwhelming amount of people. Yeah, meh on the suit. Scott Speed, that's going to be a big topic. Michael Thompson, my teammate at Elite West Racing here ran with me yesterday in that Daytona race. It was incredible. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael, for inviting me to the team. Rudy Van Buren, this is something else. Almost forgot about this over the weekend, but if you didn't see it on Friday or over Saturday, the whole Race of Champions went on. And I got to tell you, our sim racing guys, Rudy Van Buren and Enzo Bonito, they made us proud. Rudy in particular won 2 heats. So right off the back, I mean, you got to talk about him, the sim racer, and I know all the real guys were probably kind of like, oh, the sim racer. Ooh. Anyway, he won 2 heats. And Enzo really did well as well. He didn't win, but he did really look impressive. I mean, when you consider these guys do not do this every day or at all, and for them to even share the track and let alone win a heat at all, but to be to look like they belonged there, that was the main thing. At the end of the day, I'm not sure the fans would have been able to tell without being told who were the sim racers and who were the real-life champions. Stat King, I saw that just now before the show. I don't even have it. Limaland, I don't even know Limaland, to be totally honest with you. I hear it's coming in March. So, anyway, moving along. I always tell you guys sim jobs. Depending on your region, you know, CXE, if you're in Southern California, they've been hiring. I've even talked to somebody who considered and might have even applied there. Husingfeld. So if you're looking for another place, they are hiring somebody to do sales and support. I don't know what Metalworker is, so it's a little Dutch. Obviously, it's maybe not for our American people here. But there you go. If you are looking for a job in the North European region and you'd like to work for Husingfeld and you think you're good for sales and support, you might want to talk to them. I would heavily encourage you to go do that if you're looking for a sim racing job. Sim Racing Hardware, we showed this photo here of their new GeForce RGB display, and they put up a video today. It's in Ohio from Eldora. I'm assuming another dirt track would be my assumption without knowing better. And they have a video here of it in action. So if you want to see if this is something that interests you, if I'm not mistaken, is that right there is a mount for a Fanatic wheelbase, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of the places they went to test for the dirt. Okay, cool, cool. So yeah, and you know, that's the cool thing about tracks like that is you get to the smaller tracks and you get people who like really love the tracks. You know, they're like, that is the local track, and they have, that's what I assumed, Ian. Is that an I or an L? Is that Lambd or IMD? TT Isle of Man. I've been talking about this one. They keep showing their little teasers of various different bikes, and here's the Triumph Daytona 675. And this is now just getting down to like next month, and we'll be playing this title. So I'm again eager. I think this is one of those, for me, this will be a diversion game that ends up being a lot of fun. All right, here's the big topic. So we talked about Scott Speed and all the outrage about what he's been doing, crashing people, the fact that iRacing had taken no action. In that story on Friday, when we talked about it, I believe that was Friday, it might have been Thursday, we talked about, there was a quote from Nim Cross in the article saying, hey, they need to file a complaint, you know, in the same manner that everybody does per the code of iRacing. And apparently it hadn't been done. Well, Friday night, Nim actually showed up in our stream, and we got to talk to him, and we actually found out about this before it actually happened. But here's an article. So there's articles all over the place on the internet now, because he's now officially been suspended for wrecking his rivals. So, you know, good for iRacing, good for Nim Cross, good for the community, bad for Scott Speed. Now, I do have a side topic to my thoughts on this. Here, look, here's another article at GT calling him a troll. He drives like a troll. So, anyway, when the outrage videos first started happening, and this goes back a little while, like this, we are a little late to cover it here on the show versus when it happened and was going on. But Scott actually posted a video on Facebook because he decided, oh, well, then fine, forget it. Fine, sim racers. All, as his quote on that article said, go back to making real money racing real cars. So he posted that he was going to sell his setup. You know, oh, fine. You know, and to me, that's such a cheese move. And I'm not normal to rail against people, but it's like, so you're the jerk. The world calls you out for being a jerk. And then your idea of fixing it is to be more of a jerk by saying, oh, forget you. I don't need to comply to your ethics and codes. F you. I'll sell my equipment and go back to racing for real. Anyway, I don't think Scott Speed's making any more fans. And it did sell for $7,500. So somebody did go over to Scott Speed's house and pick this up. But, you know, I'm a person... I have a pretty high moral code when it comes to my sportsmanship and how people should act in life. And I am easily insulted by the assholes, the jerks of the world. And I'm going to just say this guy is one of them. And, I'm sorry, Scott, for calling you out on the show. And I might be breaking all sorts of rules. And they might pull this video. I don't care. I just have some class. You've led an entitled life since you were this big and your dad put you in karting. Why don't you have some respect for the rest of the world? Anyway, that's the end of my story, and that's probably the last time we will ever mention Scott Speed on the show again. Anyway, okay, this is cool. Here's another article. We've been covering the story. The outrage goes back and forth. Grid girls. Here's a whole article about women speaking out on the grid girl ban. And I saw another pro racer girl adamantly against the ban, and this could end up being one of those cool topics of 2018. That it is causing debate. It is causing the defining line on what is sexism versus what is proper. I mean, next, are we going to say that models can't be models because how dare somebody be, paid to be a beautiful person? Anyway, the topic is going to go on. The article is there. You can get the link and go read it if you're interested in that topic. It just makes me kind of laugh and funny. Anyway, this is cool. This was sent in to me. Howard, I believe, sent this in. And this is awesome. I don't even know what this is. Senso Drive. This is some sort of very elaborate force feedback pedal system. They have another picture here. Look at this motor and belt system, all driven off of the gas pedal. I am fascinated by this. I don't have anything to tell you about it other than the details that you can read right here, which are very, very small. ABS effect parameters, adjustable force feedback in real time. This could be a game changer. This could be obscenely priced for what they are, but I've tested some pretty obscenely priced, wheels and pedals already, so why not? And obviously it's not going to be for everybody, but Senso Drive is a company I've never heard of, and I mean, they list everything on their site, so, they have force feedback wheels. Looks like they're doing their typical direct drive type wheel. They've got a cockpit. Ooh, look at this very elaborate cockpit. So, anyway, this is a cool company that I had never heard of them, so I'm going to have to look into them a little bit more, and, I don't know, find out where they are. They're in Germany? Is that where they are? Yeah, I believe they're in Germany. Mitchie, we're going to have to send you over to Senso Drive. So, anyway, cool idea and concept and something I've talked about. When people give me a hard time for not using my H pattern, it comes back to the fact that my H pattern shifter isn't force feedback, so to speak. Same thing goes with the pedals. I mean, if we get to the point where it's all really starting to feel just like real car equipment, we're going to start driving it differently. But you might have, it might change racing. It might be, are you a racer? Are you a driver? Are you an alien? Or are you an alien racer? Or are you a regular racer guy? It could affect what level of equipment you even want. Big deal out there. This is Dirt Rally going for $10. The cheapest price ever, but you only have 45 minutes to get it. So best of luck getting out there. It's clicking down to the last minutes, but if you want to get Dirt Rally, if you're just looking for something else to do, in Bavarian, aha. Next story, also from this site here, PC Gamer, this site, never heard of them before. Malware-based Meltdown Spectre could be coming soon. So they've talked about the threat, they've talked about the point that it's going to become one of those, like, don't open that email, don't get the Love Me virus or whatever. They are seeing more and more hits on these threats as our computer companies are actively trying to counteract it. I mean, I'm talking about my streaming problems. I wasn't having streaming problems. Who knows? Who knows what's killing the bandwidth? Or is it just my router taking a dump? Is it something like this going on? You never know. But anyway, this is something we'll have to, be aware of and hopefully not be harmed by. Cool video from FIA Formula E. Fans versus racing drivers simulator e-race at Marrakesh at their big event there. And so it's just kind of showing the way Formula E, and I'm not going to play the whole video because I don't want to lose my show here. But they basically, had some simulator action going on and having the pros and the fans all getting involved. But my big point is, Formula E is actively being one of the ambassadors of sim racing. They're taking their sim racing public. They are using it as a marketing tool, but they're exposing thousands, millions even, to sim racing. And, when these people learn that this is something they can do at their home, we're going to have a growth in sim. Growth is good for us. We're such a tiny niche that a lot of things that we want and could be more mainstream aren't, because we're still a niche. And if our niche can grow and just double or triple in size, and this is true of my show as well, the show, it gives you more resources. With more resources, you can develop at a faster rate. So I applaud Formula E for what they're doing and really promoting sim racing. In all the talk of all the not Formula E, but the E-Rock, Brandon Lay was one of the 4 finalists who went to this, and he was the F1 2017 eSport champion. And if you don't remember who he is, he's the guy who has that famous video. And I don't mean to give Brandon a hard time, but here's a whole article on Drive Tribe talking about Brandon Lee. So, and I don't know if it's Lay or Lee, and I apologize, Brandon, if one of them's wrong, and they might both be wrong. But if you want to read a whole article on this guy, and he's young. He's one of the best sim racers in that discipline. He's young, and this is a kid you're going to hear the name of over the years in sim racing. He's going to be there. Yeah, baby-faced assassin. Exactly, John. That's exactly what he is. And at that age, again, Gregor Hutu's closer to my age. A lot of the champions are closer to my age. This, the new breed is coming. That's where sim racing is. That's where we're headed, especially with it becoming an esport. Us old guys, we're going to have to learn something else to do. This is a cool concept. I thought of Corsair's computer components. Mainly RAM was my main thing for being a Corsair fan. Some good cases and power supplies and other parts as well. But Corsair is launching a gaming chair. Obviously not aimed at sim racing. Gaming meaning sitting there with a controller and playing in these competitive... well, look, that looks like a esport training ground right there behind it. But they have a gaming chair, $400. Probably not for most of us, but we are seeing a change. Gaming, the point I'm making is gaming market. They're coming after the gaming market. We are on the coattails of the gaming market. We've talked about it. I just want to be clear about this. So as NASCAR has their triple-digit payout coming with the NASCAR series, they are also, in iRacing, they are also doing a NASCAR Heat version. So they're going to have both ends of the spectrum on difficulty in order to be promoting esport, promoting NASCAR, promoting sim racing, etc., etc., etc. My only concern is I'm hearing they're trying to get things up and running by February 18th, and that's a little frightening to me based on the amount of information that's out there. That, boy, it seems like they're just really trying to play catch up from having not started early enough, and I hope that it goes well. You do it late, you do it last minute, you do it frantically until you're there, and things go wrong. So, next up, cool story. This is the Top Gear hosts. This is at GT Planet. They escaped an inferno during the Monte Carlo rally. So the announcers, Chris Harris and Eddie Jordan, were filming in the car when the crew actually saw the car on fire and suggested they pull over, and next thing you know, the thing is engulfed in flames. So, funny story, and something we'll probably see and hear more of on Top Gear. I didn't even see the Super Bowl. This is an article on GT Planet, and talking about the best Super Bowl automotive ads. I'll just name them real quick, and maybe you guys can agree or disagree with some of these as to being worthy of the name, but Audi R8 big game commercial, never seen it. Kevin Hart Hyundai first date Super Bowl. I actually saw bits and pieces of this commercial. I don't know how the whole thing played out. Chrysler M&M Super Bowl commercial, same thing. I think I'd seen teases. Volkswagen Super Bowl. Haven't I seen this commercial with the kid being Darth Vader? Is this like a new episode of him being Darth Vader with the car? But automobiles were a big part, and the Nissan toy commercial with Barbie and Ken and Van Halen. But my point is, the auto industry taking up a lot of real estate at the Super Bowl. And all in all, that's good for automotive culture and for everything going on. Next up, Wreckfest, January update released in February. So there's a whole update, new cars, expanded career, parts, engines, routes, track art, effects, damage, tuning, content, career. So a lot of changes to Wreckfest, and that's something that I'm going to talk about here in just a minute is Wreckfest. I think we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, just a handful of stories to talk about. Beyond that, yeah, Chris Harris, new guys, Chris Harris. Tom Jones, that's a good question. We're going to talk about that in just 1 minute. Also, new American Truck Simulator Oregon DLC previews. So, my new favorite game, American Truck Simulator. That looks beautiful right there. But Oregon is another region that is available in DLC, and there's some previews of that. Mario Kart coming to mobile. So, this could be fun. I honestly could say Mario Kart on the mobile could be my favorite mobile game, because I gotta tell you, I have 2 mobile games on my phone, and I don't like either one, and I'm too embarrassed to even tell you what they are. GPVWC, we've been talking about them, but they've extended their partnership with Sim News TV to provide coverage. So, just another joining of forces as they continue to get that league more and more into the limelight, and one of the higher, most prestigious leagues out there. So, good for them on that. Euro Truck Simulator Special Transport DLC for review on PC. I actually have Euro Truck Simulator. I don't know if I have Euro Truck 2. I think I do. So anyway, but this is something else that I will have to look into as we talk about our diversion games. And with today being Monday, that is our Monday Fun Day, where we do something fun Monday nights at 6 o'clock. All right, David, I'll be real. That's one of the 2 games on my phone. You named it, so I can't deny it. So my question for you, Monday Fun Day, because we are at the end of the show. And so all I really have planned for the rest of the day is working on the Impetus review, which is so far behind. And I just had a very busy weekend, so as much as I'm going to put the whole weekend into it between the patron meeting, which took 2 hours and was a lot of fun, and preparing for the Daytona race and racing that 2.4-hour race, it pretty much wiped out my whole weekend. So I'll be working on that, and then I'm going to be preparing for Monday Fun Day. So my question to you guys is, do we do another round of Euro Truck? Or my other inclination is to do Wreckfest. I've never played it, never tried it, never got a copy. I'll have to go figure out how to buy it or get it. But you guys let me know in the chat, and that'll be our game of choice. But tonight at 6 o'clock, no guarantees on what it's going to be. We can always change it at the last minute. But tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll be doing Monday Fun Day and doing something just different, something completely out of the norm, something not serious, something meant just to make us kind of laugh. And if you did this with us last week, oh my God, my trying to park a truck was disgraceful and quite laughable. So we had quite a good time doing it. Anyway, that is the end of today's news. It was a long, a lot of stuff to cover. I hope some of it was entertaining, and we did blow through it real quick. So if you do want any of these stories and you want to see them for yourself, you can just head over to the simpit.com. Look at that thumbnail of Scott Speed, click on it, and you'll find all the links to today's show. So I hope you had fun. I hope this is a good way to kick off Monday for you guys, and we'll be back tonight with Monday Fun Day at 6 p.m. Mitchie, if you have any streams going on between now and then, be sure to put them in the chat. Let us know what you have going on over there so we can get you to 1,000 subs and back over here streaming at the Simpit once again. That is our simultaneous mutual goal. So help us all out and go check out Mitchie's streams. Link to his show is in the description of this show as well. You can check that out. Anyway, that's going to do it. Thank you for being part of the pit crew. Thank you for being here for today's sim racing news, and I'll see you tomorrow. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.